Okay, in this episode, let's just build the application. Hopefully I'm having a command to do that. Yes, I have it here. Sorry, I need all. This is the command. I'm using. So what it does, it Docker builds, and this Docker build with these dots saying that the current environment, the current location folder, it looks for a Docker file and executes it, and it's going to build a Node web app image. Let's see how it works. Okay, it was done quickly, and let's go back to the container images. Here you go, we have one more image. This is the Node web app that we have created based on this Microsoft SQL server, but we still don't have containers for it. Even in Docker, extensions are also available here in Microsoft Visual Studio Code, and that is, you can also see here why it says out of date. Interesting. Yep. So that was it for now. So we have the image, and the next step is to create to create a container and run it. So I have here the command. Actually, it's going to be very similar to not here. Let's do it everything here. Docker run, again accept end user license agreement. The password is exactly the same, the ports are exactly the same. Actually, this was the reason I had to stop. I stopped the previous container because I want to run on exactly the same port. Of course, it could be absolutely possible to run a number of Microsoft SQL Server containers on your system. The only difference should be that these ports should be different. Internally, of course, they are 1433, but externally they could be anything. But I intentionally don't want to run multiple SQL servers. Only one SQL server is more than enough for me. Again, starting detached and Node web app. Let's just here you go, it was started. What is it? And immediately the individual container also was displayed here. What is important, that the password must be at least 8 characters long, otherwise it won't work. Okay, and then comes a couple of interesting thing. Of course, now when I click here, yes, this is the container that we have. What I'd like to show you, that even in this container, you can log in to that container to start a bash, and then here you need the container name. And what is the the container ID? The container name or ID is this long character, but as I mentioned, it's just usually it's more than enough just to enter the first two characters and it will connect that. Here you go, I have a bash prompt, and for example, I can list all of the PSEF, all of the running processes. Because this is just the uh-oh. uh-huh. Oh. Possibly when I copied from this Microsoft editor, this dash character was replaced by something else. So here you go, you can see that the node server is running. Very important. Then if this service is killed, then the whole container stops. Yeah, so pay attention that you are not allowed to kill the node server, otherwise the container is stopped. Let's just see the data, I mean the log. Let me just Control C. Oh, I can also list it here, logs d5, and this was here. Okay, one of the possibly Docker ps a. Okay, here 66. So that is docker logs 66. Let's see what do we have here. Okay, and first of all, listening on HTTP localhost 8080. So this was the log message from our X-Class application, and the rest is just internal stuff. However, at the end, setup SQL completed. So this was the importing of the data. So it seems to be okay. And then, however, when I want to go back, as you can see here, this is HTTP localhost. Let me just copy it here and open my environment. Bang! Here we have our data, which says record set, and then product name, car identifier, product name 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, every data are imported twice. Interestingly. One more thing. I love to explain is that yes, keep in mind before I forgotten, this is the npm package you should use. It has a quite decent documentation, that easy, very simple. Here it explains nicely this trusted server certificate and also a couple of transactions, begin, commit, also query, execute for stored procedures and input, yes, when you have a request, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so very easy, especially when you are fluent in SQL, and in my opinion every programmer must learn SQL. SQL is the de facto database language for 40 years or so. So our application runs perfectly fine. Okay, I've explained the issue reported here, and just keep this in mind. Okay, and one more thing is that yes, I have here in a bash prompt in the container, and I also can start opt mssql tools bin SQL command. S is localhost, and U for user, and P for password. So I now just logged in and use demo data. This is the database I connected, and then go change database context to demo data, and then say select star from products. Go, here you go, these are the 8 products, and of course we have the possibility to insert our own data. Let me just insert a new record. New, yep, and select. Yes, now we have also the balloon. Okay, and then let's just experiment with SQL Server, and just disconnect and connect. Yep, here we have the demo data, we have our products, select top 1000. Yep, we have 9 data. I don't really understand why do we have here twice as many. I have an idea why is that, because of the nature of this record set. Yes, I remember, because this record set structure is just a display issue. So we have only the records only once here in this database, and also when I connect with Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, let's just connect to it, localhost SA and this Yukon. Again, remember this trust server certificate. We are connected and the database. You can even edit, and let's just add 10 like BMX bike. Here you go. And when I'm go back to my list, yes, we have everything. Yes, this is exactly what we are expecting from a database, just multiple clients it has. Now comes the interesting part. Let's just stop this database engine, so I don't need this anymore. I leave it here. So one of the possibilities just to stop it, because this is our container, just press this stop button. Of course you can stop it on the Docker container. Let me show you how to stop it. The 66 is our, that is Docker stop 66. Okay, our container is stopped. When we come here, yes, it is stopped, or you can visit it here, and then yes, this container is stopped too. And now comes the interesting part. Let's start again this container, this time from here, because now, because this container has already been created, you can simply stop and start. You don't have to define again and again all these parameters, all these passwords. So the database, all the images just can be started. So remember, this is the container that this is the image for a container we have started. And then let's go back to SQL server and repeat this command. Let's just execute, and here you go, the trick. We still have our data after restarting, but we also have the data from 1 to 8. This is what I explained, that every time this engine is started, this image is started, because of this sloppy programming that was done by the original programmer, it imports the data every time the image is started. Okay, and then again, let's just, yep, the data are here. And what else? Actually, that was it. my friends, I think I'm absolutely impressed. It's that easy, especially now that I gave and make this series of videos for you. I think you will enjoy and love working with Microsoft SQL Server in a Docker container, and then you use in your business application instead of Mongo or whatever other systems.